you. That was the nicest introduction. I'm gonna have you send that speech to my husband so that he can just give it when I walk in the room. Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa Edelstein. I think my sister's here, maybe my mom. Hi. And I am here to get you guys riled up and excited about making some serious phone calls. Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here. I couldn't be more honored. And you're all Jewish women and you're Jews that love Kamala, so we're in the same boat together. It's been a tough year. It's been a very tough year for women and for Jewish women in particular. We've been going through it. As a Jew, I have never listened to more podcasts and read more articles and been in more WhatsApp groups than I am today. I listen to the rightist of the right wing and the leftist of the left wing to try and find some semblance of reality somewhere in the middle. It's not an easy time for us Jews. I could hardly breathe last year through my tears the week of October 7th. I was horrified at both the medieval violence of the day itself and the self-righteous signs of justified at protests the next day. I felt abandoned. I felt betrayed, mournful. Watching people tear down posters of victims and hostages was heartbreaking. Seeing them rewrite history, denying the very violations that were filmed and put on live feeds from GoPros at the attack itself was mind-boggling. It's like a living nightmare. I thought watching Trump and his followers rewrite January 6th on January 7th would be the most Orwellian thing I'd ever experienced. And then October 7th happened. It's true, as a people, Jews are not a monolith. Plenty of my Jewish friends want to see a ceasefire now, an end to the violence now, and a return to the hostages now at any price. They worry that Kamala is not going to fight as hard as they think is necessary for this to happen. But others are deeply afraid of what it might mean for Israel's security if a deal is struck that doesn't guarantee the destruction of Hamas. And they worry Kamala won't have Israel's back. So for us, Jewish women, for Kamala, we have a very fine needle to thread. What do I see? I see a woman who is deeply committed to the same Democratic Party values that we've known for decades, to honor Israel as a staunch ally, to support her right to exist and to defend herself, while also allowing for a critical eye on the behavior of her government. Kamala Harris has consistently supported full funding for assistance to Israel in its fight to defend itself. She's been outspoken in putting the blame for the terrible violence in Gaza on the terrorist organization Hamas. And she has made it a point to publicly acknowledge the rape and sexual violence that took place that horrible day, and the hostages that continue to suffer to this day, and the innocent victims of war that are desperately trying to survive in Gaza. I see a woman who's married to a Jewish man. She and her husband, Doug Emhoff, have mobilized over 24 federal agencies with specific actionable steps to both acknowledge and combat anti-Semitism. It's not an easy time, but we have to be strong and clear about how we move forward and in recognizing who our true allies are. Donald Trump wants to be in bed with the Proud Boys and Hadassah. Kamala Harris is not so confused. What else do I see? I see a dangerous clown of a man who speaks out of two sides of his mouth. As much as he pretends to love the Jews, Trump hosted a smorgasbord of dangerous characters, platforming them as heroes despite their despicable and anti-Semitic language. Then he pivots and hosts a Jewish group promising to be their guardian for them and for Israel. This week, he actually told one Jewish group that if he lost his run, it would be because of the Jews. That is a promising setup for future violence, though I would happily sell my stake in the space laser business if it means I get the Jew power to keep Trump out of office. So that's the Jew part. Now for the woman part. We need to get a woman's right to choose put into law. We know we can't let demagogues back into office, but we also can't leave ourselves vulnerable ever again in case Trump or anyone like Trump gets the reins of power back in their hands. We need it in writing. I spent years working for groups like Planned Parenthood and the Center for Reproductive Rights, trying to wake people up to the looming danger that Roe would fall. Roe was never a perfect solution. It was always vulnerable to exactly what just happened. It did not happen overnight. Anti-abortion groups played a very, very long game, educating and placing federal judges, bringing up case after case around the country in an attempt to weaken Roe at the Supreme Court level. Years and years of this until finally one scary orange clown, who's probably paid for many an abortion himself, was able to change the balance of the Supreme Court and end Roe for good. Let me be clear, we don't need Roe back. We need law. We need it in writing. I believe that putting Kamala in the White House, a woman who knows firsthand how to write a law, is exactly what it will take to get us there. Unlike her opponent and his desperately performative masculinity, Kamala Harris has actual strength. Unlike her opponent, she has actual empathy. She is wildly qualified for the job. She is smart as hell, and we should do whatever it takes to help her get behind that resolute desk. So when the House is finally ready with a bill, it won't be complicated. She will make it into law. So now it's time for you guys to take over, getting on those phones, getting people riled up and ready. It might not be easy. Some people will not pick up the phone. Some people will hang up the phone. Maybe some people will argue with you, but you are ready for this because you have the power of volunteers. You have taken time out of your daily life to fight for something you believe in. No one's paying you to be here. You are here because of your conviction and your belief, and you all have the know-how, and you all have the enthusiasm, and you have all you need to get out the word and get out the vote. I can't see any of you, but I'm pretty sure you're the most gorgeous women in the world, and you have the brain power to affect the changes that we all need. And I can't wait to see the result of your amazing work. Thank you so much for including me in this amazing event. Bye, everybody.